now watching Compton Rick Rock TV. Let's get to the content.
Man, let's get to it, man. We're going to start off by saying this, man. I can speak on this type of topic because I come from both sides, man. The red side, the blue side. My father, my uncles, the red side, cousins, blue side. I got family all through the city of Compton, man, and other places too. But we're going to talk about this, man. We got Wack 100. Seems to me, I'm going to let y'all hear for yourself. He's upset with the Piru guy that disrespect the Crips and then backtrack on what he said. Now, if he would have stood on business, the Pirus, they would have said, you know what? Even the ones who not on the internet pushing that, but when the camera's off, they like, yeah, blood, he stood up on that. But when you backtrack, it make you look crazy and like, damn, homie, you said what you said. See, I know how this game go, man. A lot of y'all might not know how this game go. And it seemed like Wack, he might not illustrate that he's upset on the internet because he know how to run content and he know how to play this internet game. But if he didn't feel a certain type of way, he wouldn't have came to the internet and addressed the issue that everybody else addressed. Like, nah, homie, if you said F them guys, then you stand on that, and that's what you mean. You mean what you say what you mean. And for the Crips who's sitting up here talking about, oh, he only talking about the Compton Crips, he wasn't talking about us. Y'all need to just leave it alone. All y'all get out the game, man, because that ain't how the game go. If he disrespected C, every gang member that's a C representative, y'all all have the same last name, which is Crip. So I don't understand how y'all could say, you know what, he ain't talking about us. He talking about them. No, he talking about you too. If that's your family member, y'all got the same last name, that's your cousin. Somebody walk up to you and say, I'm about to smoke your cousin, but I'm cool with you. You're gonna like, what, man? If you don't get up out of here, that's how I go. So I took this whole conversation as Wack 100 putting the check down. It seemed like he's putting the check down, but in the content way on his homeboy and letting him know, we don't even want you in the circle now. Now you can't even come in the circle. Yeah, you stay over there. You not ready for the internet. You not representing yourself how you supposed to represent yourself on the internet. On the internet, everybody get along. Peace and love. That's the perception that the internet have on a lot of people. But outside of the internet, you choose which people you gonna mess with. My family members from out of Fruittown, Treetop, Westside, Piru. I got families from a lot of places, my Piru. So I done been around this my whole life. I done heard everything that you can possibly hear when it comes to this gang stuff on both sides. But anyway, man, let's get to this content. But before we do that, man, y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to this content and see what's going on. Let's go. All right, let's go over and see what they talking about, man. Let's go.
This dude, while Adam was live streaming, walking around. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to what's said, and then we need audio to play that segment up there of him doing his podcast after the fact. So this is what he walked up to Adam and said.
He said it. You got the mic. You know I make art of you gotta stop having crab beats on your shit. Oh, what? Yeah. That's what.
All right, so for the ones who haven't seen it yet, he said you got to stop having all these crab niggas on your shit. He walked up to Adam 22, and this is what he told Adam 22, who was a non-affiliate, who don't gang bang. He have gang members on his show, but he the wrong guy to walk up to when it was other guys in the room that been on that show that's actually Crips. But when he was interviewed, a couple of days later, he stated that he wasn't talking about Crips. He was only talking about Compton Crips, not all Crips. He only got a problem with Compton Crips, which made it even badder. He should have just stood on business and said what he said, which is the reason why Wack is coming doing this video. And the Piru friends that I got, like I said, friends, because I grew up in that neighborhood. I've been knowing these dudes before they was even gang banging. We went to Dickerson Elementary School, and then I went to Robert F. Kennedy Elementary School. But the friends that I know from over there, before we would shoot marbles in the front yard, stuff like that. They even contacted me and said, yeah, he should have just stood on what he stood on. It don't make him look like, you know, he really about that when he come on the show the next couple of days later and say, I'm not speaking about them. I'm only speaking about them. Every Crip in America, if they're a Crip, all share one thing in common, regardless of what their hood name is, the last name is Crip. So you're talking about all of them. When I did the first video, I was like, he stood on business. Who is this dude? I never heard of him, never seen him in the city, never heard nobody talking about him in the city. You know what I mean? I'm a little, I think I'm a little older than him. He's a little younger than me, you know what I mean? But I know a lot of people from out of this section. I got homies from over there too. So we're gonna speak on this a little bit more. And I think this is the reason why Wack is addressing it, because he probably hearing this from some people that he messed with. And before he got into the internet, at one point he was about that life. So he know exactly how this stuff's supposed to go. Let's go.
Okay. So that's what you told Adam. And I know that I'm confused about what this angle is. And then parts of the podcast.
Supposed to be, because if it was so live stream, it would have been posted that day. But prior to that, I had my relative with me, and people was already looking at, you know, his jacket, because, you know, we recently lost people. So prior to that, they looking at the jacket but never said nothing. He had an RIP sweater on. Oh yeah. With the homies who had passed away. Yeah. So, you know, people get to looking, they get to pointing, and they get to saying certain stuff, and you know, it happened after like the certain event, and people said what they said. But like I said, bro, I said what I said, but it's about their politics. Yeah. This don't got nothing to do with nobody else. It's about their politics.
All right. There's nobody on No Jumper that's from Compton. Nobody. When you walked up to Adam 22, you said you got to stop having all them crabs on your show, right? You didn't say you got to stop having all them Compton on your show. You said you got to stop having all of them on your show. It's a difference. And this is why a lot of people is making the content about it, because they like, man, you supposed to stood on business. When you come to the internet world, this is not something that you bring to the internet world. You leave all that in your hood on the streets. You come into an event and then you talking to a non-affiliate. Either you going to be 100 across the board or you still gang banging. If you're going to still gang bang, then maybe you shouldn't even be in the business at all. Maybe you should just stick to your gang banging in your neighborhood. Stick to that. Because I go to parties where there's Crips, there's Piru, there's non-affiliates, everybody in all one building, and they all getting along. I done been up in the party with Wacko from West Side. I done been up in there with Hitter J. I done been up in there with a whole lot of Piru. And it's all love. It's all good. We leave that back. That's in the hood. That's when you're around the homies. If homies talk like that when you in the hood, then you talk like that when you in the hood. But when you in on the internet, when you in public, you old now, man. You probably in your late 30s. Some of this lingo shouldn't even be in your vocabulary. Once you live that life already, you live that already. You should be on some, let's get this money. Let's make this money, man. Ain't no color lines when it comes to this paper, man. Only thing that matter at this age is that green. Yeah, we ain't gonna never forget where we come from. Yeah, we gonna rock our colors and all that, but at the end of the day, it's about this paper, man, at a certain age, man. It should be, matter of fact, it shouldn't even be about a certain age. That's what it's supposed to be about anyway, man. Let's get to this.
And I got Compton Crip homies, that's Compton Crip homies. But it's bound to politics. Right. So basically you're telling me that when you use that term, it wasn't for all Crips. It was for the Crips that don't like you or don't like your set. Most definitely, 1,000,000%. Yeah. Because guess what? I have Crip homies right now to this day that hit me up.
What? So this where I'm confused about, right? I'm gonna give a few other scenarios. I want to make sure that the shit I come from, I'm not a little off track. If I come and say, F New York. The whole New York. Buffalo, Catskill. I don't give a f. All the way down is going to hear you said F New York. But if I get into a nigga with a nigga from Queens and I say F Queens, Buffalo, the Bronx, the Harlem, Long Island, Brooklyn, they gonna say the nigga diss Queens. He diss you.
Right.
If a motherfucker say Mississippi, Jacksonville, Meridian, Greenville, and the whole Mississippi gonna hear that. But if a nigga say, hey, you in Greenville, then hold on. Yo, so my thing is this. Oh, you know I'm mad at him. Hold on. Fucked up my whole, yeah, this nigga. That nigga playing these motherfucking games.
All right, so this is basically what he's saying, man. There's no Comptons on No Jumper. It was AD and his uncle a couple of years ago, but as of right now, there's no Comptons on No Jumper. We're going to get to this over here, man. Let's check this out. This is Wack 100 again addressing the same issue on the same show that we did a live on yesterday. Y'all go check that live out. This is P Nice Show, the Created Players, man. Created Players. Let's get over and check this out.
Hey, Wack, what's happening with it, man? I'm letting you know we on live right now, bro. You good?
I don't give a fuck. Listen, when you got a nigga in the hot seat, you gotta make niggas stand on their shit, man.
What you talking about? What I do?
Because you interview Mo, and I'm gonna tell Mo ass, certain terminology is not motherfucking, that ain't isolation. Only isolation we got is a nigga hood. Right?
I told him that.
You diss to see, if a nigga say fuck S words, fuck whatever, that's all of them. You can't get off there on your podcast and say, I was just restricting it to the city. No, because Crip is Crip.
Right.
The bottom line is, Mo ain't ready, and you know this, because I've been telling you, but you done been around for a couple decades. Everybody don't fit this entertainment industry business.
All right, Mo. So basically what's going on, they putting you out of there, man. It don't look like you will be getting no spot on No Jumper. You might get an interview. I'm pretty sure you're going to get an interview. I'm saying it right now before you even go on there. They will be calling you for an interview because it's controversy. You will be getting that call. You did your job on that part. But man, it's a cold game, man. They didn't kick you out the game. They basically saying you're not ready. So anybody else that want to work with you, you are definitely not ready yet. You gonna need some more media training, man.
When it comes to how we gotta commingle and do business.
Yeah.
I got some homies, you got homies that I would never bring around it because their mentality, it don't fit.
100%.
I get it. Like, we all got them. But whenever a motherfucker is on your podcast, you got to ask them questions, and when a nigga give you certain answers, you can't let them just fadango like that.
I was just doing it just now.
I've been working this, Wack. I've been working this nigga for an hour straight.
Hey, I got this nigga 600 in here right now, nigga. I'm working his ass out right now. He in here sweating, Wack.
Yeah, can you let this nigga sit there and tell you that's Compton politics? No, that's not.
No. I know that for sure, but that's why I told him. I said, nigga, you know when you say that, you dissing the whole Crip Nation. So how can you be more specific next time? You know, what I mean, you got to be more specific. I told him that.
What's crazy is you come up there with DW. DW was one of the Crips on No Jumper. I got him on No Jumper. So at the end of the day, for your mind to even be focused on.
So he came up there with a Crip, and there was some schoolyard Crips that said he was hanging with us after he said that to Adam 22. He was hanging with us. These are the type of people that you got to watch, man. You got to watch people with that type of mentality. They'd be cool with you, and then when they're away from you, they talking about you. Or they going to turn on you. They call opportunists. They waiting for opportunity. They going to do you in. It's in their nature them type of people. They definitely gonna twist or turn on whoever they with, man.
How many this, how many that? That just let me know you still living another type of life, and that's cool. You just not gonna fit in these circles.
Right.
A nigga will never even catch me. You know how many niggas that said some disrespectful shit to me and told me Long Beach? But I'm not going to disrespect Long Beach because of my regard for my comrades in Long Beach, right?
Right.
I might tell him fuck his mama or shit like that, right? But I'm not going to do that, right? So at the end of the day, everybody just need to just say, all right, I ain't ready. All right, I'm ready. Or that's just what it is.
Right.
Because now, I hate to say it, it's a little different because it wasn't in front of his face. But how is DW supposed to be on the Wild and Out run in the Incredible game sitting on the side of you?
All right, we're going to stop right there. We're going to get up out of here, man. This is basically just Wack 100. You know, he basically telling this young homie, like, listen, man, if you going to be on that in the hood. But when you up in here, you represent us all, you got to represent a certain way, you going to mess the bag up. You can't get mad at the Crips because they in position right now with the podcasting. The Bloods had it for a long time with the rap game. You know what I'm saying? The Crips had it, Bloods had it. All this stuff goes back and forth. But at the end of the day, when you take the color out of it, take the gang colors out of it, we all got it as one. I got a red microphone up here, man. What that tell you, man? I'm not tripping off none of this stuff, man, because we here to get the money, man. We grown men, get the money. You ain't never heard me since I've been on here disrespect the Piru or Blood since I've been on doing this podcast and stuff. Now, I had music when I was doing music back in the days where I had a title that was very offensive, but we had a reason for that. When we seen Young Thug and all these other dudes who not even from out here represent some getting fame off of it, man, extorting this culture, man. Of course, we gonna speak on that, but when you get up in this game, man, you're gonna have to decide. Either you're gonna gang bang or you're gonna be about your business. You're gonna be about your business, you're gonna deal with everybody. Because when you go to McDonald's, they don't care who comes to that drive-thru. They taking all the money, man. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Compton Rick Rock TV. Also, hit that notification bell and catch every video when I drop.